110 miles distant. On Rongerik, 150 miles from Bikini. And on Uterik, 280 miles out. After the natives were evacuated, radiation survey teams were flown back to the exposed atolls, where studies were made and water and soil samples taken. Rongelap had a native population of 82. Evacuation was carried out on the second morning after the shot. Rongerik had no native population, but was occupied by 28 men of the task force. 8 men were evacuated by air at H plus 28 hours, and the remaining men soon after. Uterik had 150 natives, and they were also evacuated, although radiation levels here were relatively light. The removal of personnel from the contaminated atolls was done mainly by destroyers. These destroyers were attached to the task force primarily for security purposes, but were easily adapted for use as evacuation vessels. All of those exposed were taken to Kwajalein, where complete physical examinations were carried out. Every effort was made to assure their comfort and well-being. Fallout on Bikini temporarily rendered that atoll unusable. 25 R per hour was recorded on Enemond, our port of entry. On NU, the site of our control station, 35 R per hour was recorded. Hundreds of Roentgens per hour were measured on Amman and Bikini Islands. Even if radiation had not been a factor, blast damage on Enemond was considerable. It would have taken a sizable effort to make that island again usable as a base camp. The ground shock and fallout experienced by our firing party on NU forced us to give up the idea of a manned station. The necessary electronic systems were installed on the USS Estes to permit firing remotely by radio. The possibility of further damage to previously prepared shot sites at Bikini caused us to change our schedule at this point.
Back in the States, at about the same time Castle was in operation, the results of these drops, plus tested fusing and firing systems, made it possible to have a deliverable weapon ready, a weapon approximately 19 feet in length and 5 feet in diameter. While the case is made of aluminum, this is by no means a light weapon, since it weighs 43,000 pounds.